Did you know that a single word can change the course of a court case? Say plea deal, and you might avoid years behind bars. Hear a judge mention probation, and that could mean the difference between freedom and prison. If you're stepping into the legal system, knowing these terms isn't just helpful, it's essential. A plea deal or plea bargain is when the prosecution and defendant reach an agreement. The defendant pleads guilty, often to a lesser charge, in exchange for a lighter sentence or avoiding trial altogether. It's a calculated risk. Go to trial, and you might get a harsher sentence. Take the deal, and you know what you're getting. Prosecutors also benefit because it speeds up cases and clears court dockets. Picture this: someone is caught with illegal drugs. They're facing 10 years in prison, but the prosecution offers a deal: plead guilty to a lesser charge and serve only 5 years. Over 90% of federal cases end in plea deals, making them a major part of the system. But they come with controversy. Some argue they force innocent people to plead guilty just to avoid severe penalties. Others say they keep the system from getting overwhelmed with trials. A sentencing hearing is when a judge decides the punishment for someone convicted of a crime. This can happen after a plea deal or a trial conviction. Both sides, the prosecution and the defense, present their arguments. The judge considers federal sentencing guidelines, the defendant's background, and sometimes victim impact statements. Imagine a fraud case. The defense argues the defendant has shown remorse and paid back some money. The prosecution, however, highlights the financial damage to victims and pushes for a harsher penalty. Judges also consider mitigating and aggravating factors like whether the crime was premeditated or if the defendant cooperated with authorities. This is where everything is decided. Understanding how sentencing hearings work can help defendants and their families prepare for what's ahead. Probation is an alternative to prison. Instead of serving time behind bars, a person is released under strict conditions. These can include attending counseling, staying employed, or avoiding certain people or places. A probation officer checks in to ensure compliance, and any violation could land the person in jail. Think of a first-time offender, someone convicted of a nonviolent crime. Instead of sending them to prison, the judge gives them 3 years of probation. They have to check in regularly and follow strict rules. Probation is a second chance, but it comes with strings attached. Not following the rules can lead to serious consequences. Some people even face stricter conditions such as electronic monitoring, curfews, or regular drug testing. Judges consider factors like prior offenses and the risk of reoffending when granting probation. A mandatory minimum sentence is a set punishment for specific crimes. Judges have no choice but to impose at least the minimum penalty, regardless of the circumstances. These laws apply to many drug offenses, gun crimes, and repeat offenses. Say someone is convicted of possessing a certain amount of illegal drugs. Even if it's their first offense, they could face 10 years in prison because the law requires it. Supporters argue mandatory minimums deter crime. Critics say they strip judges of discretion and lead to excessive sentencing. Some mandatory minimum laws even apply to white-collar crimes, where financial losses reach a certain threshold. Judges often express frustration at these laws as they remove their ability to tailor punishments to individual circumstances. Restitution is when a court orders a convicted person to pay their victim for financial losses caused by the crime. This isn't the same as a fine, which goes to the government. Restitution goes directly to the victim to help them recover. Imagine someone embezzled $100,000 from a business. On top of their sentence, they might be ordered to repay that amount over time. It's a way to make things right, at least financially. Courts consider factors such as the defendant's ability to pay, how much harm was caused, and whether the victim can recover in other ways. Some restitution orders stretch over decades, making it a long-term consequence even after release. Knowing these terms can make navigating the legal system a little less overwhelming. Whether it's a plea deal, probation, or a sentencing hearing, understanding what's happening can make all the difference. Courtrooms can be intimidating places, but knowledge is power. If this video helped you, let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to 0 Hour Files for more insights into courts and federal laws. As Mats Fredriksson wisely says, true justice isn't about punishment, it's about understanding the whole story. See you in the next video.